I want to talk to you about how to pay less taxes with an LLC. So here are the steps I really want you to follow if you have a limited liability company and you're trying to pay less taxes legally, of course. Okay. Here are the steps you need to really take. The first thing you want to do is to employ a family member. This is really cool. I mean, if you are trying to reduce your taxes, hire a family member. So the IRS allows for a variety of options, all with the potential benefit of sheltering income from taxes. You can even hire your children. This is totally fine, not a problem at all. So small business owners are able to pay a lower marginal rates or eliminate the tax on the income paid to their children. And so, for example, sole proprietorships do not need to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes on the wages of a child, nor the Federal Unemployment Tax Act, the FUTA tax. It's important to point out that earnings need to come from justifiable business purposes. So the IRS also allows the small business owners the benefit of reducing their taxes by hiring a spouse. So if you have an LLC right now, you're trying to really, lower your taxes, you can hire a spouse who will not be subject to the FUTA tax. So depending on the benefits your spouse may have through another job, you may also put aside retirement savings for them, not a problem. So this is kind of cool. The second thing you can do if you're trying to really reduce your taxes that you pay with the LLC is to actually start a retirement plan. So as a small business owner, you give up a 401k match that matched by an employer. However, there are several retirement account options that actually maximize retirement savings and reap valuable tax benefits. Let me give you an example. With the one participant 401k plan, the IRS allows you to put away up to $57,000 in total contributions for retirement. And some of those retirement planning vehicles include, for example, you have a SEP, so Simplified Employee Pension Plan. You also have a IRA or a Roth IRA, depending upon the configuration that you want to have. And you also might want to think about 401(b) plans. So there are a variety of different retirement plan options for business owners on the IRS websites as a tax saving strategy. So if you are an LLC member or an LLC owner, you might want to actually, after watching this show, you might want to actually read more on the IRS website. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. If you want to pay less taxes with an LLC, save money for healthcare needs, okay? And so you put money aside for healthcare needs, medical costs continue to increase, and while you may be healthy now, saving money for unexpected or future healthcare needs is essential. You can basically accomplish this through something called HSA. If you have, so this is health savings account, if you have an eligible high deductible health plan. So this is kind of cool, and it's one of those things where you are able to understand, you are able to see exactly that basically you have a triple tax advantage when you go through an HSA. Your contributions are pre-tax, they grow tax-free, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are also tax-free. So this is kind of cool. You can also change your business structure. So as a small business owner, you don't have the benefit of an employer paying a portion of your taxes. So you are on the hook for the entire amount of Social Security and Medicare taxes. And if your business is taxed as an LLC, you'll still have to pay those taxes, though in certain circumstances, you may be able to eliminate the employer half of those two tax responsibilities. So changing your business structure might be a wise switch for some small businesses, especially in states that impose a corporate income tax like Florida. In Florida, LLCs, sole proprietors, and S corporations are exempt from paying corporate income tax. And so while there are many things to consider in this switch, such as paying yourself a reasonable salary and other associated risks, it can be a great way to reduce your taxable responsibility when it comes to a LLC. You also need to deduct, you can try to deduct travel expenses. This will lower your taxes. So if you travel a lot, you may be able to reduce your business taxes. So business travel is fully deductible, though personal travel does not enjoy the same benefit. However, to maximize your business travel, some like small business owners, especially LLC members, can combine personal travel with a justifiable business purpose. Okay, so any frequent flyer miles earned from business travel can also be redeemed for personal travel later on. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to pay less taxes with an LLC. Let me give you a winner here. When we talk about paying less taxes with an LLC, you need to understand that you have several key business tax deductions that will lower your taxes, I would say, legally, okay? So you have charitable deductions, you have health insurance deductions, you have disability insurance deductions, you have business vehicle deductions, you have business insurance deductions. This is really cool. You have home office, you have tangible property, you have retirement plan, you have tax deductions for children if your LLC actually has this sort of configuration. You have business entertainment and meal, education and expense deductions. You have longevity and productivity award deductions, subscription deductions, continuing education and convention deductions, and independent contractor deductions. So let's quickly go through some of them here. So you have charitable deductions for LLCs and corporations. So we're talking here about basically anything from donations to accredited nonprofits. So if you have an accredited nonprofits to providing inventory to charitable organizations, your LLC can actually deduct that when filing its Form 1065. So you also have sponsorship of local charity events. Okay. Now remember that corporations and taxable LLCs can deduct up to 10% of taxable income for charitable contributions. And so this is really cool. One thing I want to say also is that you have a health insurance deductions. And this is good because here we're talking here about insurance, health insurance that has an SLA, so service level agreement. And so we're talking here about what the company, the LLC, can fully deduct health insurance premiums for its employed owners, their spouses, and dependents. This means that these payments are not considered taxable income for the employee owner. So be aware that insurance provider policies might pose certain restrictions though. For example, limited or no health insurance offerings to other employees, restrictions to single coverage. You also can actually lower your LLC taxes legally through disability insurance deductions. So a C corporation or a taxable LLC can buy disability insurance for its executives or other employees. The corporation can deduct the insurance premiums from its taxes, and the executive or employee will not face any tax implications on their premium amount. So this is really good. You can also try to deduct business vehicle deductions. You can deduct business vehicle expenses. So we're talking about what? Basically everything about reimbursement, buying or leasing, executive or employee ownership. This is really cool. Also, business insurance deductions for LLCs also can help you pay less taxes. So when we talk about business insurance deductions, it's always better, always a great idea to consult with your insurance agent to make sure that you have optimal coverage, to ensure that the corporation or LLC is always the primary insured on all policies, and you need to ensure that workers' compensation insurance covers everyone in the company. Okay, work comp has to cover everyone in the company. You also need to think about if you want to lower your taxes with an LLC. Think about home office deductions. So the cool thing is that you have to actually you can deduct everything from phone bills to utilities to maintenance to cleaning and even home insurance. Okay, and if you actually own your house, you can also deduct a portion of the mortgage that you're paying every month to the bank. So this is really cool. But the thing is that the IRS is pretty strict when it comes to home office deductions for LLCs, though. So and other companies for that matter, not just LLCs, but we're talking today about LLC. That's why. So to qualify for home office deductions, you as an employee, you need to you as an employee or an LLC owner or a member, you need to consistently and exclusively use your home office for the company's administrative management tasks, or use the home for storing business records, inventory, or product supplies. So this is kind of cool. And one thing I need to say also is that when we talk about home office deductions for LLCs, you need to understand that an LLC is a state construct. An LLC is not a federal construct. So you may have to file also taxes with the state when it comes to you may have to deduct home office expenses when you file your taxes with the state. So anything I'm telling you at the federal level, you can always apply it to the state level to see if it's applicable in the specific state you're in right now. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to pay less taxes with an LLC. You can also actually pay less taxes with an LLC through tangible property deductions. So here, everything revolves around Section 179. So Section 179 of the IRC, Internal Revenue Code, allows businesses to deduct up to $1.16 million from their taxes. So that's $1,160,000 in the purchase year for specific business-related tangible personal property cost. Okay, so qualifying Section 179 property includes computers, off-the-shelf computer software, and office furnitures. Okay, and office furnishings rather. So you can also deduct costs for roofs. You can have fire protection, alarm systems, and so on and so forth. And you also can deduct, if you want to lower your taxes with an LLC, you can actually deduct the tax benefits for children. Okay, and so business owners can hire their minor children for after school or vacation work. So this arrangement offers kids a way to earn tax-free allowances or set aside money for education. And this is really cool. And one thing I want to say also is that you have the ability to also lower LLC taxes by writing off business entertainment and meals. So we're speaking about now. The only thing is, if you have to write off meals, you got to really document everything, because the IRS, again, is pretty strict when it comes to certain expenses, and meals is one of them. So you want to document everything. You want to separate alcohol costs. So if alcohol is part of your business meal, itemize it separately on the bill. The IRS can be stricter with alcohol-related deductions. You want to limit lavish spending. So while there is no set limit on how much you can spend, the IRS stipulates that your meal expenses should be ordinary and necessary. So avoid overly, extravagant meals. You want to stay updated on tax laws, especially federally, but also in your state. And you also want to think about employee events. So company-wide events such as holiday parties or annual picnics often qualify for 100% deduction. So make sure to track those expenses actually separately. You can also pay less taxes with an LLC through education expense deductions. So you can deduct up to $5,250 in education expenses to help your employees enhance or maintain their skills. Additionally, employees don't need to include reimbursements from the employer's education assistance program in their income. You also have longevity and productivity award deductions, so those are pretty good. So corporations or taxable LLCs can deduct up to $400 for tangible property awards given to employees as recognition for longevity or productivity. So businesses can selectively grant those awards every 5 years, so this is really good, even to owners who work in the business. Importantly, recipients don't need to include the award's value in their income. And so business owners need to be aware, however, that certain intangible rewards are not eligible for this deduction. So ineligible rewards include cash, gift cards, vacations, meals, or tickets. So this is one of those things where, again, it's disallowed by the law. You can also, if you want to lower your taxes if you want to lower your LLC taxes, you can actually think about subscription deductions. So LLCs can deduct membership dues for business or professional, organizations, as well as the cost of newspapers and subscriptions that pertain to the business. And employees benefiting from this don't need to include this cost in their income. So this is kind of cool. And when we talk about, you can also think about continuing education and convention deductions. So this includes things like travel, accommodation, meals, and program fees, especially if you go to an event. And importantly, and one thing I need to say is that if you want to maximize deductions on conventions and continuing education, you're gonna have to actually you're gonna have to beef up. You're gonna have to beef up your record keeping. So it's one of those things where you want to keep detailed records. You want to understand the 50% rule. So typically, only 50% of meal expenses at this event are deductible. Even if the meals are part of a convention or education program, this rule often applies. You got to think about domestic versus international travel. Think about directly related tests. Think about employee retention and employee participation. And also think about the timing. So timing is really important in terms of helping you get to the bottom if you're trying to really pay less taxes with an LLC, you got to really think about timing. Otherwise, you'll be just paying a lot of cash in terms of fines and everything. Let me give you a few pro tips here. What are the tax benefits of an LLC? Obviously, of course, you want to pay less taxes with an LLC. I understand that. But there are some intrinsic benefits when it comes to an LLC. So you have the tax flexibility of an LLC. So this is really good. But the main tax benefits of an LLC, based on our analysis, is the pass-through. So this basically describes the way the LLC's earnings can be passed straight through to the owner or owners without having to pay corporate federal income taxes first. So sole proprietorships and partnerships also pay less taxes and as pass-through entities. And these businesses pay no federal income taxes themselves. Instead, their earnings are passed directly to the owners who pay taxes on their income at their individual income tax rates. Okay, and this is really cool. So you have the tax flexibility of an LLC. So we love that a lot. And you also have there are some limits when it comes to LLCs. So you have it's important to keep in mind that organizing as an LLC doesn't mean you won't pay any taxes. You'll still have to pay taxes on income from the LLC at your ordinary individual tax rate. And so unlike wages received from an employer, income from an LLC is not subject to withholding. In turn, you have to file quarterly payments basically of your estimated federal income taxes. So some state taxing authorities may get involved as well by taxing LLC income directly. So on the other hand, some charge fees for LLCs. So you really have the idea of getting things done in a certain way. And one thing I want to say going forward here is that when we talk about tax considerations for an LLC, you got to really think about double taxation. You got to think about tax rates. You got to think about capital expenditures. And you got to think about business expense deduction. That's what I started today's conversation with. But it's one of those things where you just want to chill. You just want to relax a little bit so you get your ideas come back, so you know exactly what to respond to the authorities. And again, it's one of those things where at the end of the day, you file your taxes when you want to file your taxes. And especially if you feel like you've already filed your taxes and nobody's really following through. And this is really what it is. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about how to pay less taxes with an LLC. So let's do a quick recap here. So I gave you the steps, the winner, and finally the pro tips before closing with the bonus. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.